Well, this is an interesting turn of events. More Disney employees are launching lawsuits against the company over vaccine mandate terminations. Now, during the whole sort of worldwide pandemic issue, I copped a lot of flack actually. I think I did like one, I don't know, maybe like basically a handful of live streams, where I basically just had enough of it all. And, I aired my views as I can. This is my platform, my personal platform. This is what my outlet as much as it is your outlet. But it does seem that history is proving myself and a lot of the other more skeptical-minded people, or at least the people that didn't just suddenly chew down the narrative as if it was the gospel. I mean, it's not exactly a surprise, is it? But basically it's proving us right. And it always baffled me why everyone just gobbled it down, as if it was a smorgasbord, a feast. This is information given to you by people that, absolutely do not work in your best interests. Micromanagement to the highest degree. And now we're seeing the pushback from that, and this being one of them. And just as an FYI as well, for those people that are still watching, that are maybe raging at the screen already, I firmly believe in just freedom of choice. I think people should have the option, educate and then have the option. I never believed in the mandates. I absolutely, unequivocally thought that was the wrong approach to take. And especially, subsequently controlling people's lives to the extent where they feel that that's their only possibility, a mandate by proxy. I just didn't feel it was right. I'm a classical liberal. I'm a very centrist individual, and that is really beyond my, what I would deem to be acceptable for any government. But, like I said, the pushback is happening now. So there's a lot of Disney employees suing the company, basically, over vaccine mandate terminations. And it's an interesting turn of events because, as this article notes, Disney stock is plummeting. It is just plummeting and plummeting and plummeting. The returns at the box office are going downhill, massively so. That's a huge issue for them. Now, the theme parks was their main source of revenue, but they were offline for so long. But then they've been, now in the spotlight. Everything's opened back up, but the Disney theme parks are in the spotlight, mainly because former employees are suing the company for violating civil rights. So there's 3 former employees that have sued Walt Disney after claiming that they were fired for refusing to wear face masks and get the shot due to religious reasons, according to the lawsuit. And that is protected, it's a protected characteristic, those kind of elements. So Barbara Andreas, Stephen Cribb and Adam Pager filed the lawsuit back on June 30th, which states that Disney discriminated against them by not accommodating their request to be exempt from the company's mandates requiring the vaccine and facial coverings. Andreas and Cribb were fired in March, while Pager was let go in June, according to the lawsuit. The trio had worked for the company for many years, so long time employees. Disney stock plummeting by 40 billion. Its favourability rating dropped from 77 to 33%, and the new Buzz Lightyear film was a massive flop. And then, of course, we had Florida Man stripping the company of special privileges. Been a rough year for Disney. It has been a rough year for Disney. It continues to be a rough year for Disney. So the vaccine mandates were issued as part of a plan from Biden. Now, this article says, to weaponize employment status as a means to increase COVID vaccination numbers. As much as the language is harsh, weaponize employment status, I mean, that is the case. And there were threats to do that in the UK as well. It's not just a US specific thing. It would seem to be a worldwide situation that they were looking to do. But again, as the information comes out, it would seem that those of us that were more skeptical of the vaccine were proven right to a certain degree. You know, the statistical data for risk factors is actually, you know, relatively high in healthy individuals. Now, I'm not sure how much I can continue to say without YouTube clamping down on me, but I think that that's backed up. Well, I mean, I know that's backed up by the data that has been released. So Disney's vaccine mandate was, and just again, there'll be people that will be like rage typing right now. Just do a little bit of research. It's literally information that was released. They had to release it. They were forced to release it. I think this was the Pfizer stuff, if I remember rightly. It was quite shocking, to be honest, and there's still more to come as well. But anyway, vaccine mandate was suspended in November after Governor Ron DeSantis and Florida lawmakers limited the power of employers to require workers to be vaccinated. And again, if you chose to be vaccinated, that's your choice, and I think that's absolutely fine. That's, again, you know, where my sort of classical liberal status and outlook comes out here. You know, I think if you choose to do it, be my guest. Like, I'm not going to judge you or anything like that. I think it's absolutely fine. You do what you want to do. The lawsuit claims that Disney's augmented protocols that were forced on non-vaccinated employees consisted of harsh isolation and restrictions that caused serious breathing and made it nearly impossible to find a compliant manner and location in which to eat or drink while on shift. That's interesting. I'm assuming that's because they said you must wear this like literally at all times. Disney responded to the employee requests on December 29th saying that after careful review of the information you provided, we are unable to conclude that you are prevented from wearing a face cover due to a sincerely held religious belief, practice, or observance. Probably just calling them out, saying you're lying, basically, which could be the case. Across all of its subsidiaries, Disney has enforced mandates as in terms of employment. ESPN's college football sideline reporter Alison Williams quit last year due to the cable sports network vaccine mandate, and Williams said that she refused to take the vaccine because she and her husband were trying to get pregnant. She didn't want to risk any complications. I think that's perfectly valid, to be honest. I mean, it was like untested, so I think that's fine. Williams announced she was leaving the network because her request for accommodation was denied by ESPN executives. Belief is a word I've been thinking about a lot lately because in addition to the medical apprehensions regarding my desire to have another child in regards to receiving this injection, I'm also so morally and ethically not aligned with this, and I've had to really dig deep and analyse my values and my morals, and ultimately I need to put them first. So that's interesting. And the irony in all this is that a lot of these same values and morals that I hold dear are what made me a really good employee, what helped with the success that I'm able to have in my career. Yeah, well, I mean, it just is what it is, really. But yeah, so Disney denied their request for religious exemptions, to other individuals as well, from ABC and things like that. And according to a complaint filed in Los Angeles Superior Court for wrongful termination and 4 other claims, there's quite a lot of claims being put against Disney for wrongful terminations. Gave no reason for its decision, except to say that the company was unable to conclude that you are prevented from receiving the COVID-19 vaccine due to a sincerely held religious belief, practice, or observance. Which, in fairness, how can you legally prove? You know, you can legally prove wrongful termination, but you can't legally prove that these individuals don't hold a sincerely held religious belief. That's purely subjective. What someone believes is sincere that's a subjection. It's a subjective truth. I'm having a drink, so it's very hot here in the UK. So calling the network's vaccine mandate unconstitutional. The complaint continues. ABC does not have the authority to force a medical treatment on its employees against their will. And even if it did, it must offer religious exemptions to anybody who requests one. It cannot discriminate among religions and cannot second-guess the sincerity of one's religious beliefs without an objective basis for doing so, which is what I said. You know, it's subjective. You cannot legally prove that. You'd be very hard-pressed to, anyway. It did not have one here. ABC's actions constitute religious discrimination and violate plaintiffs' rights under state law. And so, I mean, Disney's stock has been just plummeting, down 38% over the last 6 months, down 45% since this time last year. I mean, it's literally just tracking into the toilet. So, you know, I've given my sort of, my brief opinion on this here and there. What do you guys think? And again, remember, in the comments, don't bash anyone that has had, has chosen to take the vaccine. I think that's absolutely their right. I think it's perfectly reasonable that someone would educate themselves and deem that that is suitable for them. But equally so, I don't think it's fair for individuals to, say that others shouldn't either, or were wrong not to. I just think that that's one of those things that, unfortunately, people get too tribalistic over, for little reason as well. Like the logical conclusions can be torn apart like a paper bag. So it'll be interesting to see what you guys come up with. I know I'll cop a lot of flack for this video, but look, it is what it is. I'm going to stand by my opinion on all of this, and I think history has proven me right. So I'll stand by that. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out my Teespring store. Supporting the channel via this way does go a long way. But also, not only that, you do get to wear some awesome merch. These are one-of-a-kind designs designed for me by my graphic designer. We, of course, have our Clown World line, which is in mugs, hoodies, t-shirts. We've got Space Jeebus. And then for something a little bit different, we, of course, have right down at the bottom right here, we have our Pulsar GTIR. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out and supporting my second channel, which is Car Nonsense. This is a vlog and car channel. You can find links to this in the description box along with my Teespring. Please do consider supporting.